Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Animag here from Anime Uproar, and welcome to a new episode of the Naruto Virgin podcast. Bro,
Naruto Virgin!
Naruto!
Ah!
Uzumaki Naruto. Anyway,
That's
joining me is my boys, Knox and Briggs.
Little
are
bro.
my boys, Nugget.
And
How are you doing today, Animec?
Great. And my brother's also here, Gozen from Anime Uproar.
Choji hype.
And yo, so I want to talk about this right now. First of all, Naruto is a way better story than I thought, man. I gotta say this is a really good story.
Let's go!
It is a really good story. I'm loving it. And several episodes ago, you guys will remember, some of you, at the beginning, I made a joke about the best fight being a Choji fight. You remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember that? I was like,
Yeah.
because Choji had just like had this like little fight. It was like the
Against
during
those
the
two.
Chunin exams, yeah. And I was like, yo, let's talk about the Choji fight. It was so interesting, right, guys? Meanwhile, like obviously we were talking about Gaara and Lee or something. Bro, Choji just had the best fight for sure of the current stage of the story, and it was absolutely awesome. Like I can't believe it.
Yeah, you mean the arc. For the arc, yeah, the best fight.
Yeah, for the current like section of the story. I don't.
Well,
think
I mean, I don't know where did we get to this week?
We got to him using the butterfly wings.
That was the last thing we saw. It was the only fight of the arc. So of course.
No, actually, yeah, exactly. Like it was one of the few.
Oh, we
if-
got to
we
see
had-
Naruto versus Sasuke. That little skirmish. That was a cool one.
No, yeah, we had Naruto versus Sasuke. We had one of the sound guys versus the Konoha 5, as I called them. Like when he traps them in that
yeah,
His name-
earth
yeah.
encampment
That
and
was
stuff.
Shirobo, I believe his name is.
I don't know what his name is, but
Not
the point
his
is,
name.
Shirobo. I thought you were reading this anime.
Choji absolutely impressed me, and Shikamaru, this guy's a legend. I love this guy, man.
I know. I
Let's
told
go.
you.
Let's go. That makes me so
When
happy.
you guys started talking about Shikamaru like earlier, I was like, who gives a shit about this guy? He's just some random dude. Because I
Dude,
didn't know what was coming. But I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I totally get it now. Like, this guy's so smart. Like, he was established earlier as being pretty smart. But he just reached genius level galaxy brain because he told Ino, it's like, listen, you don't need to diet, bitch. Guys like thick ladies. You like them thick.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's-
this guy gets it, bro.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's also why I think he's a great character. Yes, Animec.
What a
thinking the
reason
same
to be a
thing.
genius for,
It
bro.
was also pretty
Yeah,
funny
first of all-
when the third
first of all-
one. Go ahead.
First of all, it's facts. And second of all, he was telling her, like, you don't need to be obsessed with your appearance so much. Just be yourself.
Yeah, he wasn't even talking to her. I think he was talking to Choji, and he purposely didn't tell her.
No, he was talking to Ino.
Well, are you sure you don't want to go in order, Animac?
Yeah, let's go in order.
Okay, so first thing that we have is Tsunade comes back to Konoha and she assumes the role of the 5th Hokage, and then she like starts healing the injured. She heals Kakashi, she heals Sasuke, but she can't really heal Rock Lee unless they do a very risky procedure where there's a 50% chance that he will die because apparently some of his bone fragments went into his nerves and stuff, and there's like a 50-50 chance that he will recover completely with the procedure or die. And now Rock Lee has to make this decision. Do I undergo the procedure and risk dying, or do I give up on my dream of becoming a shinobi?
And Tsunade said you should just give it up now. Like, you have bone fragments in like the nerves around your spine. This is a difficult surgery, and like even with it being a success, like you may never be a ninja again.
Yeah, and Tsunade is like the doctor here, while Might Guy is the dream.
Yeah, and then you're thinking like Might Guy is gonna say the same thing, like your life is what matters, and he's like, you know what, Rock Lee, I think you should do the procedure, bro.
Dude, that was so like this is one of the most powerful moments in Naruto where Might Guy tells Rock Lee that if he dies, 1 in a zillion chance if he dies, then he'll take his own life too. Like, oh my god, that I went crazy emotional over that part.
Yeah, it's unconventional because in real life you assume your mentor is gonna be like, it doesn't matter if you're a shinobi, you can be so many other things. Life is precious, don't worry about it. But he's like, no, this is your dream and you must do it. And there's only like a 1 in quintillion chance that you will die because you are our boy. Fate will guide you.
Yeah, and they have a whole thing where like luck is a part of skill.
That was
Yeah,
kinda
it's almost like fate, like kind of like if you grab fate by the balls, you can
bowels.
by the ball.
Fortune favors the brave, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I like my balls metaphor.
Yeah, me too. That
Yeah,
was
but
good.
fate is
I like
usually
that time when
effeminate.
Animax had balls.
I don't. Yeah, you're saying fate is usually feminine, but it doesn't have to be, bro.
Yeah, man, we're progressive here.
Speaking of being progressive, Shikamaru's reaction to the fifth Hokage being a girl was pretty funny.
That's actually hilarious. That's
What did you say?
to me,
I
too.
don't know if
It
I.
was just like,
noticed
I
that.
don't know how I feel about the Hokage being a girl. They're pretty irrational or something. I don't
Selfish?
remember.
Yeah, he said they're selfish.
But the entire time he's just thinking of Sakura and Ino in the back of his head and like describing them perfectly.
Well, to be fair, Tsunade is not the perfect example of like a calm and balanced woman.
It's
But
true.
I mean,
I
she
mean, I
is
feel like
cool.
the role of Hokage, like pretty much the most important thing is like you just got to be super powerful.
Yeah, because if you remember the third Hokage, he
What?
wasn't like this perfect man or anything.
Being super powerful is obviously it's a pretty huge plus, but it's definitely not the only thing. Like you see villages that crumble because even though their Kage is a beast, it's like they still crumble because the political structure falls
Yeah.
apart.
Of course,
Nuts
but at the end of the
is
day, there's
right,
other people
yeah.
that could support you, like in like balancing like the economy and the politics of it all, right? If you have a weak like Hage, especially in a time where your Kage, like your Hokage, just died, if you bring in someone that's weak, the entire village looks weak and it's open to being like attacked, right?
Yeah, the ideal is someone strong and that doesn't
Like
fuck up by forgiving Donzo all the time.
the name alone of having one of the three legendary legendary ninja, it will keep enemies away.
That man is the biggest plot hole in the entire series. We don't talk about him until Shippuden.
And so this was actually pointed out, and I had this in my notes. Tsunade was talking about we have to keep, even though we're super understaffed after everything that happened, we have to keep sending our ninja out on missions, because if we don't, we're going to look weak, and the other villages might attack us or take advantage to take, power for themselves and whatever. So that international relations aspect came into play here, where she's already sending like Kakashi back on a mission, even though he just recovered from injuries and stuff like that.
And that leaves their forces extremely thin when it comes to getting Sasuke back.
Yeah, so that's why Shikamaru and the other four who are, novices.
Technically, she says, Shikamaru, you are now a Chunin! Woo! Which is really
that was
hype.
crazy. I want to talk about this because it turns out that during the whole Chunin exams, the only one that ended up being promoted to Chunin was Shikamaru, which is crazy because he's not the main character. He's not Naruto Sasuke. He's not
even that. Like in the Chunin exams, we were introduced to all these crazy overpowered characters.
Yes.
Lee, Neji, freaking Sasuke, Naruto. All these guys were absolute monsters.
Well, Gaara too.
But Gaara's not a Leaf guy. So, and then the only one that gets promoted to Chunin is Shikamaru.
Yeah, who showed himself to be very smart and strategic, but he didn't necessarily show himself.
But he lost his fight.
He surrendered.
He surrendered, but in surrendering, he showed great judgment, because the idea is not for a shinobi to go out on a mission and just like
die,
suicide himself,
or sacrifice his teammates
for no reason, like just because I'm brave enough to just like throw away my life for honor. He was strategic, and he was prioritizing what makes sense in terms of the mission and what makes sense in terms of staying alive, which I guess was valued more than just being like super brave and fighting against all odds, even if that means being unwise and risking your life.
They were taking into account what could have happened if they were in a team setting, which is how it would be in the real world.
At the end of the day, he captured his opponent, and then he was smart enough to withdraw, given that his chakra was running out. But if it was at a team scenario, once you capture one of your opponents, it's like it's kind of gonna give you an advantage for victory.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
And I really like that they actually thought it through.
Yeah, and it's unconventional in that sense, because you would expect the main guys get promoted, or like a bunch of the strongest guys get promoted, but this was totally different.
I love that it was only one. It's very interesting.
It's impressive, and because I was thinking Sasuke and Naruto are definitely gonna advance, because that's the whole point. is to get them to advance. So it's interesting that they didn't yet. There was a hilarious moment when Sasuke finally wakes up from his coma or whatever, and he smashes the plate that Sakura left him with the apple. She spent all night like peeling these apples for him when he wakes up, and he just fucking smashes.
So before we talk about the Sasuke thing, I would like to really briefly mention that in the anime there was a filler arc that I think was really good. I mean, I don't think the filler arc in itself was good, but there was one thing that the filler arc did that I thought, like, story-wise, it did a really good job. I'm not going to bore you with the plot of the filler arc because the plot was kind of weak, but in this thing, they ended up fighting, like, on water, and Sasuke saw that Naruto was able to control his chakra to walk on water, and Sasuke never learned that, right? That was Naruto's thing. While Sasuke was learning, like, Chidori, like, Naruto was learning chakra control. And when he saw that, it really depressed him. And he started thinking, wow. And he goes through this spiraling flashback of how he gets introduced as a way more prominent ninja than Naruto. But as time goes on, Naruto keeps getting stronger. He summons Gamabunta. He beats Gaara, a guy that Sasuke couldn't beat. He learns the Rasengan. He does all these crazy things. He walks on water. And Sasuke, like, it spirals him into a depressive state where he sees that he's weaker than Naruto.
So what you're trying to say here is, like, this filler episode, or this part of the filler, actually help kind of lead into the next part where when Sasuke wakes up, he challenges Naruto to a fight.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was made clear here that Sasuke is concerned about Naruto getting stronger. And also, there was the big thing about Itachi wanting to capture Naruto, right? And so...
Yes, that too.
Because Sasuke's whole thing was, I'm going to get revenge on my brother and kill him. You know, his whole life is dedicated to that. And then Itachi's like, yeah, bro, I just want Naruto. I don't even give a fuck about you. And he's like, that was such an insult to him.
The ultimate
I would argue Sasuke's character arc until this point is fantastic. Fantastic as far as building up this dude who, you know, is having a really rough time. And as far as shonen goes, you don't very often see a character arc built up as well as Sasuke's.
Yeah, respect for that.
He
for sure.
is like merciless to Sakura, but no one likes Sakura, so it doesn't even matter.
No, but there was a good moment later on. We'll get to that. But no, I think Sasuke, obviously he's still like a teen, like an edgy teen, and that's normal for him to have these emotions that he's having. But yeah, I think so far his arc has been really interesting. And we have to also point out that Konoha is in trouble again because Shikamaru has sent 4 of his main assassins from the
Orochimaru?
Orochimaru.
Oh yes, Orochimaru. So yeah, the
Not
other
to be
model.
confused with Shikamaru.
The other model.
Shikamaru, genius.
Bro, don't you know that Orochimaru is just being controlled by Shikamaru the whole time?
Yeah, probably.
Shikamaru is eisening all of them.
He's using brain shadow jutsu, bro.
But yeah, so these 4 guys have been dispatched to infiltrate Konoha. So Konoha is getting like no chill. Like they get no break from the attacks. And
technically I wouldn't say this was an attack against Konoha.
Well, the idea is to destroy Konoha. The idea is to destroy
It's to get Sasuke of this mission.
This mission was just Orochimaru wanted to, you know, he wants his child, you know? He wants the child to get
Okay, let's not get into this. Let's not get into this.
Uchiha.
Yeah, let's not get into this. So when Sasuke wakes up, he wants to fight Naruto, and then Naruto accepts, and they have this big fight. And it really seems that Sasuke is insecure about Naruto, and he's afraid that Naruto is surpassing him. And it turns out that both of them are very emotional because they both use attacks that are too strong for a normal like sparring match. And Kakashi actually steps in and stops them because he's like, "You idiots! What are you doing?"
Yo, but that was so cool how he stopped them. He grabbed each of them by their wrist and flung them into water tankers. That was so sick.
Wasn't Sakura in between the two of them about to get hit by like a Chidori and Rasengan?
Not in the manga.
Not in the manga. It was in the anime then, right?
No, not in the anime either. Sakura was on the corner of the roof yelling, "Stop it!" And then Kakashi jumped in and grabbed their arm.
I swear,
Sakura was being really useful. And
classic Sakura usefulness.
So when I read the manga, I'm like, why do I remember this happening differently in the anime?
Yeah, Sakura was in the corner.
Maybe you just dreamed about Sakura being in the middle of a Chidori and Rasengan.
Yeah, maybe. Someone in chat says she was running in between them.
She didn't get between them though. Like it wasn't gonna hit her.
You're thinking of Pokemon, the first movie.
Maybe so.
Briggs is like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but she was running towards the center, but she was like at the end of the roof. She wasn't getting in the center. But anyway, the point is, after they get smashed into those water tanker thingies, Sasuke's like grinning at Naruto because Naruto only like a teeny droplet of like water comes out, and Sasuke's when his Chidori hits it, he mangles the whole thing. So he's like, all right, so I got interrupted, whatever. I would have destroyed him. Look at the water tanker I hit and how I wrecked it. And look at the
he has
water
a little,
tanker
he has a little
Naruto
chuckle, because so much water is coming out of his, and it's like a little stream coming out of Naruto's.
He scoffs it off. He like shrugs his shoulders, and as he's walking away, he looks back at the rooftop, and the water tanker that he hit, the other side didn't explode. It was only his side that got mangled. But the water tanker that Naruto hit, the other side of the water tanker just completely, it was eradicated.
Bro, you should do a whole video. No one understands the water tanker symbolism in Naruto.
It was a great scene. You're the virgin. You should talk about
it
this.
Was an insanely good scene. Yeah,
Such a
what did you
pathetic
think about it?
moment though for Sasuke.
It's pathetic, but it's
It makes
like,
sense, yeah.
It makes
That's
sense.
why it's a good moment. Sasuke's
He's
character
so
arc is
used
so
to being
good.
he's so used to being like number one, and Naruto being like the guy
Right.
lagging behind. And now, after he's so pissed, he's like, "I'll show you, man. I'm still better than you." He has to face the fact that he's not.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know, and I
No,
agree
when
with that.
I said
and-
pathetic, I was not talking about the fact that like
No, it is. It
the
is,
realization that he's not. It was the first thing when he looked at Naruto's and his little chuckle, like, haha, my stream is bigger. Haha, my dick's bigger
yeah.
than yours, bro.
Yeah. And then it's like, bro, my dick is even hard, bro.
You don't understand. He really needed that win, like for
Yeah,
his
yeah.
mental health. He
Yeah,
saw
he's
himself as
insecure
lagging
now.
behind.
Yeah, he's
He's
so
insecure
insecure
now,
right
yeah.
now.
And I mean, that makes sense. Like, I hate that when people were like, oh, Eren from Attack on Titan, you just acts like a bitch or this. Like, bro, he's still a teenager, man. Like, people are human. They don't, they have their weak moments.
And people get petty even as adults. Like, let's not just.
But
be
not
like,
Animac. Animac never gets petty.
No, because I'm a man, not a leaf.
That's right.
Not the hit and leave.
Yo, way to
Good
hit a
call.
leaf when he's down, goes in.
But anyway, some people in the chat were saying that Sakura was getting in there in the middle, and that Kakashi saved her. But who cares? Okay, guys.
Whatever.
It sucks.
It's
Anyway,
right.
Anyway, after that fight, Sasuke's finally left alone, and then those four guys that Orochimaru sent.
The
Decide to
Sound
attack.
Four.
Kakashi pays him a visit first.
Yeah, so he talked to Kakashi first, and then they waited because they didn't want to fight a Jonin. So they waited for Kakashi to leave before attacking Sasuke.
Yeah, and
Yo,
specifically
another
Kakashi.
thing that I really liked is now you got to understand, because in the tuning exams, it really frustrated me when I first saw it that Kakashi took Sasuke to the side to teach him the Chidori, like training with him on that mountain for like a month. And he's like, okay, Naruto, you can study with Ebisu Sensei.
God, I
Right?
agree.
That really frustrated
Oh.
me. But I think that Kakashi, when he saw Sasuke spiraling out of control, and he knew that he needed to make Sasuke stronger for his mental health, and that's why he took him to the side and was like, "I'm gonna give you this one-on-one tutelage that you genuinely need."
And he also reflects.
Yeah, he
more
probably
on
sees
Kakashi.
himself. He sees himself in Sasuke.
I didn't
but-
want to say that because we don't really know Kakashi's backstory yet, but
Okay.
But
fair
we
enough.
do get an amazing interaction at the tree in this moment where he ties Sasuke up, and Sasuke like lashes out. He's like, "What if I kill the people that are most precious to you?" And
Oh,
Kakashi
God,
just looks
yeah.
at him. He's
Dude.
like, "Well, you could, but they've
Yeah.
already been killed."
That was such a powerful moment. Holy shit.
yeah, that's why I really think that Kakashi's the strongest written character in Naruto. Like,
No one understands him, bro. No one.
I made that video. I made
know.
that video.
I know. That's why I said it.
It's funny because Nux is used to people calling him out for not making no one understands videos. He was like, I make that one. I actually made that one,
I
guys.
actually made that one, guys.
It's not a Zoro. It's not a Zoro.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be so sad when he finally makes the "No One Understands Zoro" video, and it's like a Nuxanor video.
Oh yeah.
I might do that.
It's just a stream where he's like arguing with Iron Mouse.
We wouldn't argue. We both agree that Zoro is the best character in One Piece.
Sure you do, bro.
But anyway, I think that that's a really powerful line to teach us that, in this ninja world, everyone has to go through shit.
Yeah, and Kakashi was kind of saying neither of us was exactly lucky in terms of like our
Yeah, and
upbringing.
Sasuke
So it
doesn't know what anyone else is going through, right? He just assumes he has it the hardest.
Yeah, and it's implied that Kakashi has some sort of tragic backstory as well.
Implied. That's not implied.
That's
It's
like
pretty
everyone
much
in Naruto,
stated,
bro.
okay?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Everyone
But
has a
anyway,
judgment.
I thought it was also really powerful that this is the arc where we see Sasuke snap, that he recognizes, like, just, damn, I need something. I'm falling behind, and he just feels insecure about himself. And that is exactly when the Sound 4 come, and he voluntarily goes with them.
Yeah, so what he doesn't initially go with them voluntarily. What happens is they attack him, and he tries to fight them, but he cannot defeat them at first. They're clearly stronger. So then he tries unleashing the curse mark power, but those 4 ninjas also have curse mark powers. So when he sees he can defeat them, there is a bit of a battle happening, and then he sees he can defeat them. They tell him, "Listen, you should join us, Sasuke. In order to accomplish your goal, which is getting revenge on Itachi, you must get stronger. Like the way things are going now, you're not strong enough," and he's already insecure. And then they're telling him, "Orochimaru can give you that power if you decide to come with us."
It's the perfect time to give him like a devil's contract, right?
Yep. He's at his lowest point, and this is when it needs to be said.
I think Gozen, you're looking for the term Faustian bargain.
Fuck that.
That's a great term. All right.
Is
Anyway,
it just me or is this like the second time he said this in like the last
It
week?
is. In
this is the second
podcast.
time you had the same conversation with Gozen. Also, you should.
Yeah,
just...
well, it's not a devil deal, bro. It's a Faustian
A
bargain.
deal with the devil.
Okay. All right.
That's
Cool.
the thing.
Anyway, then that part, we kind of, I think we're left off at this point in the story with Sasuke just kind of like contemplating it, and then we go into more of a Rock Lee backstory.
Well, we also, more than contemplating it, he gets put in a little box.
Well, no, that's later. That's later on.
Is it?
We because you always talk about chronologically going. We get the Rock Lee backstory before Sasuke leaves the village.
You just don't want to put Sasuke in a little box.
Yes. Anyway, we get Rock Lee's more of his backstory, like we knew it before, but we get some more of it, and we get a great moment between Might Guy and Lee, which is that moment where Guy actually tells Lee to have the operation, and it's not the most conventional advice you would expect, but I thought it was a really deep moment and epic kind of. You love the bond between these two guys.
You
It's
love
just
it
so great.
so much, bro. And his ninja way is literally surrounding making his students' dream come true.
Yeah, and it's the whole thing with Lee is, he was never talented to become a ninja, so he was never a genius. And then so he was very insecure about that. And then my guy told him, "No, you are a genius at working hard. That's your strength."
Such a powerful line because it's so true. Also,
Yeah,
like that is such a people don't recognize that is genius in its own way.
Yeah, for sure. It's a skill that you can develop.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not something that's easy to do. Like you can be naturally talented, gifted at things, but you're too lazy to pursue it, and it means nothing.
I always loved the Michael Jordan example where it was like, yes, he's talented, but he also woke up at like 5 a.m. and shot like a couple thousand shots before people even woke up. It's like,
Yeah, ideally you'll be both talented and hardworking, but just being talented without hardworking will never work.
yeah, the hard work is really needed. It takes you there. Even if you're not talented, people who work really hard could like match up to people who are like.
And that's why it's also a really great lesson to see Lee versus Gaara. Like Lee really stood up to Gaara.
Yeah, and Gaara was the guy who just has natural power.
I don't know if natural is the right word, but he has power.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
guess we could say he's born with
train.
power.
He didn't have to train. No.
Yeah, so then after we get the whole Might Guy Lee stuff, we get Sasuke leaving Konoha. And he agrees to go with them. I'm not so sure that he actually agreed. I think he might have something planned. I don't know. We'll see. But Sakura tries to stop him. And then we actually get a dope moment between them, which is rare with Sakura. But she tries to stop him and she says, "I'll do whatever you want. I'll help you get your revenge. I love you." She confesses her love to him and all this other stuff. And Sasuke then kind of he shows up behind her. He thanks her for, being so nice to him. And then he just knocks her out and leaves her sleeping on the bench.
Yeah, that's like the kindest Sasuke has been to her this whole series.
Yeah, it's funny because he knocks her out physically, but he actually says thank you to her. So it's like he's so mysterious. You don't know what he wants. If he loves you, if he doesn't.
Right before that, he says, "You make me sick," and he's like just trying to put on this like facade.
Yeah, no wonder
to let her-
girls love him.
Sakura
He's such an
responds
edgelord.
to it like so much. Like he just keeps treating her like shit, and she just keeps coming
I know
back.
he's such an edgelord, and she's like, "Oh, he's so mysterious. So he's so
His hair is so
he's
cool.
rugged. I need to tame him."
I wonder why I don't like Sakura. Weird, right?
He has a ping pong table. I mean, a ping pong racket on his back.
Yes, to ping pong the flames.
I do want to see a ping pong match between Sasuke and Naruto. That better be in the like next Chunin exam.
Sasuke would win.
There's probably a filler for it. But anyway, the point is Sasuke gets in his box and leaves. And Tsunade's like, we have too much shiz going on to develop a team of epic ninjas to chase him. Congratulations, Shikamaru, for becoming a Chunin. Gather your ragtag hunk of dudes and do whatever you can.
Yes. Well, first of all, the Sasuke thing happens later, not right when he leaves. Later on, when they're already out of the village, they tell Sasuke he has to take a pill that apparently awakens his mark power, making him stronger, but it also kills him for an instant.
Yeah.
So they suspend him. They put him in like suspended animation inside a box using some jutsu. So, he's going to get stronger, but he's got to be in suspended animation or something like that. So that kind of takes him out of the story for a while. He's just in that box chilling.
Well, he's like one of the main components of the story. He's just in the box.
Yeah, he's boxed up. But then we have the Konoha 5, which are the team that Shikamaru assembles. It includes Naruto, Neji, Choji, and the dog guy, Kiba.
Dog guy! Because really, essentially, he was just going around. He got everyone that he could. Everyone that was willing to join him, that was free for a mission. Like, Shino, unfortunately, was with his dad. Everyone was busy. But there was one other who was like, I'll join. It was Sakura. And he said,
Yes! Yes!
I would actually prefer if you didn't come, to be honest.
Yeah, Sakura's like, I'll come. And he's like, listen, Sakura, you'll just get in our way.
No, he's like, well, you're so emotional, you're so invested, I don't know if it would be appropriate. Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely the right move, her not coming. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
thought that
and he also says, it's like, listen, you already tried to you stop him from going. He said no, you failed.
And then we actually got a relatively powerful scene with Naruto, where I believe, if I remember correctly, Sakura says to Naruto, "Promise me you'll save Sasuke. I love him."
And she says that's the favor of a lifetime or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, and Naruto's like, yeah, I promise I will.
And that's crazy because Naruto loves Sakura, and he's willing to do this.
I disagree. Yeah. I think Naruto just likes her. I don't think he loves her.
Well, I mean, he's been simping for like the whole story.
Yeah, like I think it's like high school crush. Like, you had
high school crush. It's equivalent. It's 12-year-old version of love. Okay, Animec.
No, man, because you can have a crush on someone and not love them, Nux. Don't you know how stuff works?
But it goes to show how good of a guy Naruto is.
What is love?
Oh my god.
Yes. Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me.
No. Anyway, so right now we have... Actually, I want to say how awesome Shikamaru is, because I was so impressed how he, takes the 5 of them, including himself. He comes up with this like single file formation plan, which perfectly accounts for everything, covers all their blind spots, ideally positions everyone to be as useful as possible for the mission. Like, this dude takes any situation and he turns it in his favor in the best possible way. Like, I love him because I relate to him so much. He's like,
He's like a genius.
He's like a genius or something, but like not as much as me, obviously.
No, like he's like a supreme genius, and I relate to him. That's all I'm saying. I'm not like tooting my own horn.
Okay, we're just fucking with
you,
bro.
No, of course not. You would never do that. You would never. But the cool thing is, how he immediately decides how to make use of everyone's abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense for Kiba and his dog Akamaru or whatever to come, because his whole ability to smell things and track things is so useful in tracking Sasuke and the guys. Actually, so I don't want to speculate, but in terms of the sound guys, I don't remember any of their names. One of them is a girl, right?
I believe it was Jirobo was the chubby dude. Spider Guy was Kidomaru. Then there was Juzo, or right?
I
Was
think
it
there's a
Juzo?
girl, and then one guy is a girl, but is not a girl. Right?
And then the girl is God. What's the girl's name? Frick. Don't remember. Tayuya. That was it. Yeah.
Tayuya. Okay, what about the guy that looks like a girl? Does he have
Right.
two heads?
Sakon. It was Sakon. Yeah, he has a head coming out of his back. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, like I was like, in some panels it looks like he has two heads, and some it doesn't. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did see two heads.
Yep.
Trippy. So anyway,
not a Duma.
what is that? The kindergarten cop reference?
Yes.
Wow. Anyway, so when the Konoha 5 catch up to the Sound Ninjas, one of them, the chubby guy, traps them in like this earth dome that is draining their chakra. So they're kind of like screwed, but Shikamaru's brilliance comes into play yet again, and he finds a way to break out. And at first he's like, yo man, please let me out. Screw these guys, just let me out. And obviously those idiots, Naruto and Kiba, are like, he's betraying us, guys. And I'm like, bruh, he's not betraying you, shut up.
No,
Yeah.
them yelling was part of his plan. He wanted them to yell.
Yeah, no, I
but
know, but
they-
they actually thought he was betraying them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
he's obviously not betraying you, you fools.
Dude, this is his first mission. It's a life or death. They know that he's the laziest man in the entire Leaf Village. I can see why they would be a little frustrated.
Fair enough.
I
Honestly,
guess
I think
Choji knew the whole
Shikamaru,
time.
in general, though,
Choji
kind
knew
of
the
proved
whole
himself
time.
as like him deserving to be a tuning. Like the fact that he was able to lead them in this way and understand their strengths and their weaknesses. Like it makes sense why he was upgraded.
Look how much better they did against them compared to the two Jonin.
Yeah, because there was two Jonin that fought them and got wrecked. Although they did weaken the guys. They weakened them because they were forced to use their curse marks. So they were kind of a bit sapped when they met up with Shikamaru and the gang. But yeah, Shikamaru really shown he was able to determine the location of the guy who was trapping them because he did the whole "help me, let me out" thing, and the guy responded. And then he targeted
The weakest point.
Choji. Was it Choji that targeted the weakest point,
Yeah.
like furthest away from him?
Yeah.
And
Well,
because
I really like that Choji had so much trust in Shikamaru.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
so I
their
want to
friendship
really talk about that because
was amazing.
Choji is such a loyal friend. Like he does not doubt Shikamaru for a second, and when the other guys do, he just gets so pissed off. And when the villain dude like was insulting Shikamaru, he's like, "Bro, let's fucking go, fam!" Like he was mad.
Yeah, you know
was
how
straight
much
up
he
mad.
hates people calling him fat, right? And in this case, he finally found something he hates more than that, and that's someone insulting Shikamaru.
Which is huge. And I think that his backstory with Shikamaru was really nice as well.
It's
Like the whole
beautiful, yeah.
butterfly thing, and I thought it was really nice.
Heartwarming as fuck.
It really was.
I feel like I am the Shikamaru to Nux's Choji.
I don't feel that way, but whatever floats your boat.
I feel you would trust me.
Does that mean I'm
implicit.
maybe after yesterday?
That's a great example, yeah.
No, but so yeah, it was really cool. And then we actually have Choji stepping up to fight on his own the dude that was trapping them in order to allow the other four to keep pursuing Sasuke.
He's
And-
crazy. This nerd,
Yeah,
he's big. He's scary.
Yeah, and he's one of the guys that just took out two Jonin. And yet Choji is like, I'll take him on. And Shikamaru is like, yeah, he can actually win. Because Naruto and the other guys are like, bro, what is he doing? He's going to get absolutely murdered.
Which
and
is
Shikamaru's
crazy.
like, no,
The
I
faith
trust him.
they have in each other is so good because neither of them are, extremely powerful fighters. Neither
Yeah,
of
they're
them
not
are
like
spirited.
overpowered or incredibly talented or anything, yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
and this is showing why early Naruto is so good, because you have all of these characters getting their time to shine. Even Choji, a guy all the characters in the universe made fun of, and Animac, even you made fun of previously in a podcast.
Yeah, like I made fun of how the short and like insignificant his fight was, but he then has a fight that's super significant. And it was interesting because we got a bit of Choji's backstory, and he's basically from this clan that they're all kind of chunky, let's say, and so he was being made fun of, saying that he was dumb and fat and all this stuff. And the only person that didn't make fun of him was Shikamaru, so he was his friend. And so Choji, has that loyalty to Shikamaru he will do anything for him, and I thought that was really cool because at some points in my childhood I was a little chunky and people did make fun of me, so I relate.
Man, anime relates to a lot of these characters.
Literally every single character he relates to. He
Although-
relates to Choji because he's chubby. He relates to Shikamaru because he's a genius.
Sasuke because he's an edgelord.
There we go. And Sakura because he simps for everyone that moves.
No, I don't simp for Sakura. How dare you?
No, you don't simp for Sakura, but Lady Dimitri.
You relate to her forehead, bro. I don't know. Anyway, Choji being a thick boy is actually beneficial to his jutsu, and I think that's why, like, maybe because they're naturally thick, they developed jutsus or decided to learn jutsus that were like, it's better if you're a big boy.
Yeah, it's their strength, right?
Exactly.
That goes
Yeah.
hand in hand with their abilities.
And so Choji turns out he has these like 3 special
Rumble balls.
Yeah, so they kind of work like the rations that kind of get his chakra back, but like on steroids, right?
They're kind of like
Yeah.
Chopper's thingos.
Yeah, so they give him like a bunch of power, but they also have repercussions, like side effects. So he uses them while fighting the villain because the villain is stronger than him without him using those rumble balls, whatever. But he suffers consequences, like he feels a lot of pain and all this other stuff while using them. And when it's very possible that if he uses the third one, the chili pepper one, that he will die. But he is forced to use it, and then this part of the story that we covered ends with Choji basically doing like a Detroit smash right into the villain, and it's just like bam, smashes him into the ground.
That
that's
panel
what he
was
is.
so well illustrated. Like everything is shaking as if like the camera is shaking. It's crazy.
I know, and it's so funny that they made such an epic moment for someone like Choji, who up to now wasn't that significant at all. He was kind of like a comic guy. Oh, look at this guy just eating all the time. And now he turns into this like, epic guy who literally saved the day so far. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
at the end
he
of the
becomes
fight,
a
but-
fleshed out character.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you didn't talk about his backstory on purpose because you were saving it for later, but if not, I maybe talk about his backstory.
Choji's, I did talk about it.
You just said
He
He
used
was
to be fat,
insecure.
and now he still is.
Yeah, he wasn't picked on. He wasn't picked to be on teams. Like he was bullied in the school.
No, I said, people were calling him dumb and fat, and Shikamaru was the only one who didn't, and he, that's how they became friends, and that's why Choji's so loyal to him. I don't know.
I also thought
what about the
Choji's dad.
butterfly symbolism?
Oh yeah, go for that, Nux.
No, anime, go for that, you virgin piece of trash.
I didn't
Hey,
pick
stop
up on
it. We're in a
I-
band. He's talking about the podcast
oh my
being a
god, I
virgin,
totally forgot about that. I meant because it's a podcast and he's a virgin.
called
not
the
because-
Naruto Virgin, and this is his first time experiencing Naruto for the first time, which is the definition of a virgin. Okay, continue.
Virgin like the olive oil, not like Gozen.
Okay.
If they ban us, they're culturally appropriating my olive oil.
Okay, Doc, talk about the butterflies because I did notice that his ability is butterfly related, but I didn't see
Oh,
butterfly.
you noticed that anime? That's crazy.
Yeah, so I didn't pick up on it in the backstory. So go.
So, one thing that everyone was always saying about Choji is that not only is he chubby and stuff, but he's overly kind to like a point of fault. Like he found the butterfly in a web, and he wanted to free the butterfly from the web, and like he was having a hard time with it, and everyone was picking on him. Like, kids in high school always they're like, or even elementary school or whatever, crushing bugs is like common occurrence.
Did this
I
happen
never
already,
got
guys?
that. But yeah, I that might be an anime moment because I don't remember that either from the manga.
What? That was such a great scene.
It was,
Alright,
especially because
I take it
because
back,
of the
Virgin.
fight. Yeah.
I take it back, Mr. Virgin, son.
Yeah, I don't know if it maybe happens later or if it was just taken out and added in the anime, but yeah, I don't remember the butterfly moment.
Well,
it works
in
for
the
the-
manga. It was really cool.
Yeah, it works for the
I mean,
transformation of his character.
Right, because his character transformation when he eats that third thing and he becomes all slim and he grows butterfly wings.
And know it or
With-
not, butterflies have short lifespans, so it kind of goes with the abilities.
Yeah, like the ability is overpowered, but it has serious side effects and he could kill him. So, I mean, I think that's cool.
Yeah, and we also is this the first time we've seen him use partial expansion jutsu?
I think
Or-
so. I
So-
remember Piccolo using it, but not.
I remember I did see him like grow like really really big and like crush the villain under him, right?
Because
Yeah,
we've
that was.
seen him
This was before that.
regular expansion jutsu where like he becomes big chubby and then he just rolls at people like a chip.
Yeah, he's done that before. Yeah.
Right, that he's done before, but I don't think he's ever done partial expansion jutsu where he just makes like his arm really massive.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he did that here.
You mean
but
Gear
Yeah, he
30?
right
did that here.
before he did making himself huge.
Yeah, man, huge.
Yeah, he was like towering over the dude.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't expecting Choji to have such an epic moment and to really come through like this. I thought that he would just be like there on the side, like a extra. Him and Kiba. Let's face it. I was like, these guys are not going to be that important to the team. But I was
Bro, I
surprised.
felt so bad when he was remembering like all the negative things people were saying, and one of them was said that day when he was like, "At least Shino, not Choji."
Oh.
It was
Right.
so mean, man. Oh my
Right.
god,
Well, the truth is, Shino's a monster. Like Shino's really powerful. He's
Shino's
like
badass. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get why they would say that, but Choji's been feeling like, and he had, let's be honest, Animac, even you've mentioned it, he had the lamest fight in the shooting exams. Like,
For sure, yeah.
and literally, he got his stomach touched and he got defeated.
Yeah, so I really thought that, he was that kind of character that wouldn't really make a difference in the story, and I
And
was
here-
proven wrong. I was proven wrong.
And here you have him, maybe even dead.
Yeah, maybe he dies after this. I doubt it, but
I mean, whatever happens, it would definitely be like such an epic moment, even if he died. Like,
yeah, it would, but I don't think he will just because Shikamaru would be more concerned if he thought that he would die.
and I'd feel bad for his dad too.
Yeah, his dad seems like a nice chubby guy.
Oh yeah.
So I've been looking to try to find a good stopping point. I think 202 is a good place to stop. Are you good with that, Animac?
Yeah. 91 to 202.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Great.
How amazing is this story, Animac?
We're
Bro?
already-
You've been waiting so long for it.
We're already 200 something chapters into this. That's pretty crazy. Like starting next week.
Wild.
Yeah, it only has like how much? 600, 700?
And it really has been one. I'm not sure about the original Naruto, how many chapters there are. Although I will say, so far, I feel like it really has been one great arc after another, from Zabuza to the tuning exams to the
Say so.
Yeah,
fifth
absolutely.
Tsunade part. I don't know what that arc was called. And now
Yeah,
to
who cares?
retrieving
The
Sasuke,
MILF
like
Hokage. It's called the MILF Hokage.
the MILF Hokage arc. Oh my
20-year-old
god,
MILF.
Jatal, thanks for the 10 subs, bro, and Ben
I'll
from
just
earlier.
tell, yo, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, it really
Appreciate
has been like a really solid, like reading the manga compared to the anime, even like just pacing wise, even if let's just say there wasn't a bunch of filler in this early parts, like I don't really remember, but I remember being upset with the filler. But apparently, like up until now, there hasn't been a lot of filler. Even just pacing wise, it's been a lot better in the manga.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pacing has been great. It's been just like a banger after banger in terms of the arcs. Like we haven't even gotten a break, really, because after tuning exams, we went right into the Orochimaru stuff, and it hasn't like stopped.
Yeah.
And they even
closest
handled the
thing.
training arcs like mid Zabuza
Exactly.
arc or like mid
Yeah.
like retrieving Tsunade versus Orochimaru and Kabuto. Like it's always like action.
Yeah,
training.
exactly. So they had the main villain, Orochimaru, in that Tsunade arc.
Yeah, and that's when they handled Naruto's training. So I think that it was very well done.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Really enjoying it so far. And by the way, if you're listening to this as a podcast on Spotify and stuff, check out the Rank of Anime podcast. Follow us there. It means a lot to us. And also, we stream this live on our Twitch, rankofa.tv. We stream usually Tuesdays around 4 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to follow along live with the chat and that type of stuff, you can check us out there. We don't really talk about it much, but we are on Twitch live. We do these live on Twitch, and then it goes to the podcast platforms.
And
Hell
that's
yeah.
the way it goes.
Yeah. Anything else we need to say before we wrap this one up, baby?
I would like you to talk about how much you've been liking Naruto so far in general. To be honest.
Didn't I already say I've been liking it a lot?
Yeah, we just want to hear more,
No, because I vaguely remember Briggs saying, "Oh yeah, man, it's been a ride every arc after the other," and then Gozen saying, "Yeah, Naruto's like really," and you're like, "I'm enjoying it." I would like to hear how you really think of it, like in comparison.
And-
to other
Yeah,
feel like
and
you
before
listen to me
you
at all.
say that, Animac, sorry, before you say that, just guys, keep in mind that Animac sometimes trashed Naruto before giving it a chance. in comparison to like some other classic anime. So
The
yeah,
point
let's
is,
hear it.
Nox, you didn't listen to what I said because I specifically elaborated on why I think it's been great and great arc after great arc. But yeah, it's true. Like before I knew Naruto, I just assumed it was just this, mainstream kiddie show that was popular because it was designed to be popular, kind of like Western shows where it's just like, oh, here's the latest Batman version, where it's like 18 different Batman series in 20 years. But honestly, there's a reason why this is popular, and it's because it is really good. It's not just
Resonates.
and stuff, man.
No, yeah, it's an amazing show, and although I have nostalgia for sure, heavy.
No, I don't have nostalgia. I don't have nostalgia, obviously, and I'm really liking it a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
Like just from a writing perspective, from an hype perspective,
Emotional
the
perspective,
world building, the
philosophical
powers,
perspective.
yeah, everything's been really, really good. I don't know about philosophy yet, like.
Man, every character has a philosophy.
Yeah, but we
And-
haven't. I haven't really had some deep philosophical contemplation.
Yeah, but
on
if you
Naruto
pay
so far.
attention to characters, the way they talk, their actions, Naruto, you see his philosophy, you see Sasuke's philosophy, you see.
And it's not just like that. They're senseis. Every sensei has a different style of teaching. And
Exactly. Yeah, so philosophy, I'm not saying like it has to be Kant, but the way they view the world.
It can't be Kant.
He can't.
God.
No, yeah, so
Yeah.
far really good. I'm very impressed, and I mean, it just. Yeah, I know people have complained about there being a lot of filler in the anime, which is why I'm not doing the anime, and I don't at all think that there's a pacing issue. Like the pacing has been great. Everything's been awesome.
Honestly, from what I hear, it was pretty much just like the first 135 episodes of Naruto, which is like past where we are currently. There's like little to no filler, or very, very little. It's just like the rest of Naruto. Once like Naruto like kind of ended, there was like 100 episodes of filler afterwards, which was
Yeah,
just
and there's
crazy.
some
And when
good
you're growing
filler.
up watching it on TV, or like you're just young, first getting into anime, you don't know that it's filler, or like you're like, what is this garbage? And then even like Shippuden really struggled with filler.
Yeah, and Mac, you should know though there is good filler, which includes like more about Kakashi, more about Itachi, stuff like that.
Yeah, but I've from what I've heard, people would say that the
that's
pacing
why,
is so
I
bad
would
in the anime.
I would argue that there are certain filler arcs in Shippuden that we should take episodes for separately.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd definitely be down to watch them. I'm just not sure where they
that
have them.
Anbu arc. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, with Kakashi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you guys decide. If you want to do some anime only stuff, we can do it. Just let me know and I'll watch it. But I do think that a lot of people have said to me that the pacing was an issue for them and they dropped Naruto because of that. So that's why we decided to do the manga. And I mean, definitely no pacing issues whatsoever.
Yeah, what's it called? When I was watching Shippuden while it was airing, I dropped it and then just read the manga because I couldn't do it anymore week by week.
I couldn't do weekly either.
It was actually pure torture. And it started to make me resent the series, to be honest.
I didn't even try because it's just when it's in the hundreds or like 200s, 300s, 400s episodes, like I just am too intimidated to start.
And yeah, it's true because, okay, let's say you just had a great arc end and you were so excited you want to see what happens next. And then it's like these slow-paced, no relevance to the story whatsoever filler arcs show up. It's like, let's go out to the beach for 18 episodes.
No. So like in original Naruto, they handled it much better. Like an arc would end and then they would have a filler arc. Or then like after like a bunch of actual anime-only content, they would have like a bunch of filler episodes. So at least it's kind of separate. What happened in Naruto Shippuden is like, it'd be an amazing moment. This character dies. The next episode is like a filler backstory for that character that's like not in the manga. It's like I already know this backstory because you showed this backstory to me already, and it was just so frustrating because like for the next 2 to 3 weeks I wouldn't get to see what I would want, what I wanted next. You know?
Yeah, I get you. It was pretty bad. And also, when I was a kid watching Naruto, I didn't know what was filler and what wasn't. It was so painful, man.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, and that's a problem, right? If you're watching and you don't know what's filler, you're thinking,
Dude,
oh,
I got so
itself.
invested in Shippuden into the Sora arc. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. There was an arc with Sora that Sora secretly had half of the Nine Tails chakra within him. Like, that was all filler. I was so disappointed. Like, it was a good arc. Like, I liked it, but it made no difference, and everything that happened was completely useless.
Yeah, and
It
so
was
if
like,
you don't know that the original source material doesn't have that stuff, you're gonna be like, well, why is this paced this way? You know, is the story itself
but
the
you don't
problem?
understand. I was invested. That arc was good. They had like this whole siege on the Leaf Village because there were these grave robbers that were stealing shiz. I was like freaking out. It was hype. We learned secrets about Sora. We learned secrets about Naruto's past. None of it panned out. The ending was irrelevant. I'm telling you, it was the saddest thing ever.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. The ending always has to be irrelevant with those fillers.
Yeah, that's why the G8 arc was cool in One Piece, where it wasn't exactly relevant, but it fit the timeline really
Yeah,
well.
it's kind of what Naruto, what Nux was describing about like with the whole Sasuke, like kind of like realizing Naruto has been growing so fast in the filler because it segued nicely into the arc where he like wakes up and it's actually canon content. They did that perfectly with G8 as well because they took into account the previous arc and I feel like they took into account what was going to happen in the next arc and they blended it together. It was beautiful. It was really well done.
And the
Anime
issue,
didn't watch episode 101 though.
the issue that you have with filler is if the anime catches up completely to the manga and there is no indication of what should happen in the future, that's when the filler goes awry, right? Because then the anime producers are like, oh shit, we gotta just make shit up.
Well, because the thing with filler is the starting point of the filler and the ending point of the filler have to like really be the same point of where the canon story started and ended as well. Like nothing could really change. But if you know the previous arc and you know the next arc, some of the content within it can still kind of feel genuine and add some substance.
So that's the challenge.
A lot of the time they don't have the content after it.
That's the challenge, is adding substance without altering anything in the source material.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, really enjoying this so far. Can't wait for next week. Reading up.
Isn't it crazy to think that this is like, this is the weak part of the Sasuke retrieval arc?
Okay, Nux. Until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.
Bang!